Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well today. Today we're going to be talking about accessories for the Apple Watch Ultra. Well, I say accessories, it's mostly straps or bands, depending on where you're from, with a couple of bits added on. So without further ado, let's dive straight in. Before I do that though, quick disclaimer here. Everything that you see in this video has been purchased by myself. Nobody has given me any of this, nobody is paying me to do this video. All the thoughts are my own. There will be some links in the video description. The majority of those will probably be affiliate links, and if you do click on one of those, the channel will hopefully receive a small commission, and that will go a long way to helping the channel. Thank you very much. So I think we will start with the strap that came with the Apple Watch Ultra. So when I bought this back last year in September, it came with the orange Alpine loop, which gotta say, I love the color. The only real thing about this is it gets quite dirty, but I've managed to put it into the wash and it's come up looking pretty much brand new again. Very secure clasp, fits very nicely. You've got lots of different loops that you can attach this little G hook onto. It's titanium hardware on here, so it matches the look of the Apple Watch exactly as it should. And it's just very, very comfortable, very good for exercise. You know, it's very, very well adjustable as well. You can make it tighter if you're going out doing some exercise, you want some more accurate heart rate readings. You can lower the tightness, make it less tight if you want to as well, just by adjusting the hook. I preferred this when I bought the Apple Watch to the diving one, the rubber strap, or the silicone strap, and the trail loop, simply because this just looks more substantial. And for the amount that you pay for the Apple straps, you know, this is a £100 strap, probably $100, the equivalent everywhere else in the world. The trail loop just feels very flimsy for that money, and the diving one doesn't really feel like it does a lot more apart from the rounded off look than the silicone straps. So that's just my 2 cents. That's why I went for the Alpine loop. As I'm saying, Alpine loop, great watch strap. I think it's probably the one that's on my wrist the most. Simply because it's so comfortable. It's really good for sleeping in. Apple Watch Ultra is a slightly larger watch, so having a comfortable band to keep it nice and tight to the wrist is very, very important, I think. Next up, I'm going to switch to another set of Apple bands. So these are the sports bands, Sports Loop's a different one. Apple Sports Band, I've got the product red version here, and I've got this tangerine coloured orange one here as well. I did previously have a black one, but I sold that on with my Apple Watch Series 6 a while back. So these are great again for daily wear. They go on very nicely, again have a really nice secure fit. They still look really good on the Apple Watch Ultra, even though, you know, these are probably designed for the 45 or millimeter watch. They still fit perfectly. I guess there's a tiny little gap, probably, you know, under a millimeter, where the strap meets the lug holes. So there's the silicone bands by Apple. One thing I have noticed, they're not silicone, are they? They're some fancy fluoro elastomer, whatever. But they do not pick up dust. I've had some knockoff bands which I've basically gotten rid of because they just look dusty all the time, but these just don't seem to attract dust or lint in the same way that other silicone watch bands do. So whatever Apple's done on these, it obviously works because it is a slight cut above what you get from everybody else. Well, what you get from the cheapy knockoffs anyway. So the next strap that we're going to look at today is another Apple-owned branded one. It's the Leather Link. This is in the Baltic blue, released around the same time the Apple Watch 12 was. This one I got when I had my Apple Watch Series 6. But again, it's for a 44 millimeter, but again fits on the 49 millimeter perfectly. So if we just slide this in, it's a nice secure fit, nice kind of leather or magnets. No buckle or fastener on this one, it's just pure magnet. So you drop it on your wrist, you kind of go like that, and then it just kind of sticks. And it's very, very good. It's very, very, you know, it's pretty tight on there. You could yank this off someone's wrist if you really tried. You know, from a theft perspective, this is probably not the best band to have, but it's infinitely adjustable. You know, you can make it as tight or as loose as you like. Very, very nice, very comfortable as well, extremely comfortable, and looks very good. You know, under any kind of setting, you know, casual, wearing a t-shirt, jeans, looks really good, but it also suits it well if you're, you know, dressing up a little bit more. You know, maybe you'll wear this as your business watch, your day-to-day business watch. This will still fit in nicely. So the next watch strap we will be looking at is a leather one, and this is from a company called Bandwerk in Germany. This is their Bandwerk Stockholm vintage tan leather strap. It's a little bit pricey, similar price to an Apple straps, but these are very, very high quality. These are really, really good straps. Gives it a very nice vintage look with a vintage kind of leather strap. Also with the titanium lugs to match the case of the watch. Very, very nice. Very little branding just on the back, nothing on the front. Some nice stitching along and vintage stitching around here. This just looks fantastic when worn, to be honest. Probably one of the nicest looking watch straps I've found. They do this in a few other colours. Thinking of picking up the grey colour, but again, at £100, it's a bit of a considered decision. Can't just go out and buy it on a whim. But yeah, if you're looking at that, it just looks very nice, and you know, wearing that into the office or just anywhere in a casual setting, out for a beer, going to the pub, you know, it's always going to look very, very nice, and makes your Apple Watch kind of fit in if you want to have a slightly smarter aesthetic going on. The next strap is another leather strap, and let me get this one off. The next strap is the Nomad Active leather strap. This one I've had for several years now, but it's a very, very good strap. It's waterproof leather, which sounds ridiculous, but it's treated leather from a tannery I think it's in Germany, the Heinen leather company. It's treated leather, which basically is fine to take in the water. So I've showered with this, I've swum with this on, you know, it's shows wear, of course, it's leather, it's supposed to patina with time, but nowhere near the kind of patina you get from normal leather. And if you dunk normal leather into the water, you know, it would come up pretty rubbish pretty quickly, whereas this just seems to be working very fine. Only drawback with this watch strap is that it's a little bit stiff, and it took over a year really for it to break in properly, and even still now it's still pretty stiff, hard to work with. It's hard to push it into the strap keepers, but once it's in, it's on, and I think it still looks great. The lugs are black though, so they don't quite match the Apple Watch Ultra, but actually I don't think you really notice it once they're on, and they kind of match the black bezel ring that's around the edge of the Apple Watch Ultra's screen. So it's not a perfect match, but still, you know, one of my favorites. Good in the UK here. It rains a lot. You want to wear a smart strap to go with your watch, but you don't want it to get ruined in the rain because, you know, Blighty, it rains a lot. So that's the Nomad Active leather strap. Again, like I said, links to all of these will be in the description below, so don't worry about scribbling all of this down right now. And then the last one, which I'm going to look at, which I actually don't like this watch strap and how it looks on the Apple Watch Ultra, but I just like how comfortable it is. And this is the standard sport loop. I think this watch strap is a little bit too thin on the Apple Watch Ultra, and it just doesn't do the look of the watch justice, basically. It's a little bit thin for me. And the trail loops, a similar fabric strap, it's about 2 or 3 millimeters wider, which is just enough to make it, you know, not look a bit too thin. But yeah, this profile against the wide case, I just don't think it works very well. But having said that, on the days when I'm being strange and wearing 2 watches, because I love my mechanical watches too, I'll have my mechanical watch on this hand, and I'll have my Apple Watch slightly higher up the wrist on this arm, and it will generally be with this watch strap so that it's tucked away underneath my cuff, ready to have a look at when I want to, but you know, I'm not publicizing to the world that I'm wearing 2 watches all the time, although to be honest, no one seems to notice anyway. If I was going to say which my favorite, well, actually we'll come to my favorites a bit later in the video, so stay tuned to the end to hear more about that. So the next ones are not straps, but just accessories that go well. So these are my AirPods Pro, AirPods Pro 2. Obviously these go really well with the Apple Watch Ultra if you're out running. You know, you don't need to take your phone, you can just load the watch up with some music, or you can just stream it directly via cellular connection. Battery life's great, sound quality is great. The transparency mode on these, especially while running, is fantastic. I can have my music nice and loud, and you know, it's not a problem basically. I can still hear the road, can still hear the cars. No one's going to run me over accidentally, basically. I've got it here in my Ryan London leather case, which incidentally goes very nicely with the Bandwerk Stockholm vintage tan leather strap. Mouthful, but yeah, they go very nicely, and it's nice matchy if you're into that kind of thing like I am. Next thing is the Belkin 3-in-1 MagSafe fast charger. So obviously, if you've got an Apple Watch, you've got an iPhone, you've probably got AirPods. So Apple Watch goes there, AirPods Pro go there, and then iPhone goes there, and they're all kind of charging nicely at the same time. It's a little bit pricey, but it is MFI MagSafe certified, which means all of those good safeguards that Apple puts in place to make sure your phone's not being overheated when it's charging are in place in here. One drawback, I think, though, is that it uses a proprietary cable, so the charger that comes with it is the only charger that's going to work, so don't damage it, don't break it. It's not standard USB-C, it's a proprietary cable to Belkin. It's quite high wattage, obviously, so that it can charge everything at full speed. It is a fast charger for the Apple Watch as well, which, if you've watched my Apple Watch Ultra video, if you haven't, it's linked up there, but if you watch my Apple Watch Ultra video, talk about how, my charging routine with the Apple Watch, and this is kind of instrumental to making that work. This combination stays on my wrist quite frequently. Well, I say this combination. This is the phone. It's my iPhone 13 mini in product red, and the product red strap. They just go really nicely together. I've also got the product red silicone case. They all go very nicely matchy, if you like that sort of thing. So thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've seen some things that you may like here. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, please comment, please let me know what your favorite straps are for the Apple Watch Ultra if you have one. Maybe there are some that I could pick up going forward. Again, thank you for watching so much. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.